guys, welcome in. Another edition. Rob Kendall Show. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Man, we've got a lot to get to today. Coming up here in just a little bit, Adam Wren of Politico is going to be with us. He was in the room at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when the shooting took place. So we're going to get a detailed eyewitness account of everything that was taking place. How did they get the administration out of the room? How did they get Trump off the stage? What was the reaction of people in the room? All of that coming up here in just a little bit. But of course, as you know, nobody does local like us. 2 hours a day, every day. Indiana news, politics, and government, unlike anybody else. Until Monday. Then it's 3 hours. That's right, guys. Beginning Monday, May the 4th, we are moving to 9 until noon, and that is because of you guys. You have been an amazing audience our first 8+ weeks, and it has grown the show in terms of popularity and demand. And a lot of you guys demanded, said, hey, we want you to talk some more national stuff. I said, not giving up the 2 hours of local. So we said the only logical conclusion, we got to go to 3 hours. So thanks to our friend, great support from John Rust. He is making it possible for us to have a third hour. And we're going to bring it to you beginning on Monday, May the 4th. So we'll still do the 2 hours of local each day. We're going to weave in some national stories as well. Some days we'll do more than 2 hours of local, but we are going to do it beginning May the 4th. We head to that third hour, 9 until noon. We're also headed to a new studio, and it's all colliding at the same time, guys. It's all colliding at the same time. So look, I may end up in my bedroom on Monday. I may end up sitting on a floor somewhere on Monday. We don't know. We anticipate anything happening. Just roll with us. We'll get it figured out somehow, some way. All right, a couple of housekeeping items, and then we're going to get into. We have an update on Adam Krupp. Kara Kinney from WRTV6 asked the governor about Adam Krupp yesterday. His answer was every bit as ridiculous as you might imagine. We'll tell you about that. But first, our housekeeping items. If you haven't done so yet, today, like, share, and subscribe this feed. Like, share, and subscribe. Number one, hit that thumbs up button. That really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. That thumbs up button, a little action. It takes you, 2 seconds? Goes a long way. Hit the like button. Also, if you haven't, share the feed. If you got Facebook, if you got Twitter, right now, there's those 3 dots. You hit the 3 dots, go to share, boom, put it up there. Let people know where we're at. Let them know what we are doing. We are the only show that is committed to 2 hours a day of Indiana news, politics, and government. Everyone else should be, but that involves a lot of work, right? Let's face it. Some people are just lazy and they're not doing a lot of work. That's what we're doing. 2 hours a day, every day. Let people know about us on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever social media account you guys use. Share the feed and subscribe if you haven't yet. I know most of you have. I know most of you did right out of the gate. Thank you very much for that. Like, share, and subscribe this feed. That helps our program grow. One other item, and then we'll get on to the program. So much Indiana news, politics, and government to get to. But if you haven't yet, head over to robkendallshow.com. robkendallshow.com. We have our live feed there. All of the on-demand podcasting platforms. So if you got somebody who's like, maybe, but I just don't do YouTube. That blew my mind, guys, to learn how many people are just adamant, I don't do YouTube. Now, YouTube, we love you. You're awesome. But there, for some reason, are people out there who from day one are like, yeah, I'll listen when you have something else because I just don't do YouTube. Okay, whatever, fine. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. All the places you get your podcast. Tell your friends. There's a big list there, robkendallshow.com. We have articles posted each day there around some of our favorite segments we do each day on the program. And most importantly for us, because let's face it, we can live on about $10 a day, but we got to live on something. We've got a support button up at robkendallshow.com. If you like what we do, if you like this program, if you're into Indiana news and politics and government, and you want to help us keep the train rolling, hit the support button. $1, $10, $10 million. I think we accept that much. We accept it all. robkendallshow.com. Thanks to our super fan, Lewis Ann. She loves us so much, she hit that button not once but twice yesterday. So thanks to all of you, the hundreds and hundreds of you who have contributed over at robkendallshow.com. All right, let's get to the program, shall we? Adam Krupp. We got a big update on Adam Krupp. So let's again, I know most of you super engaged. You're fully aware of this, but we have new people coming in all the time. So this is for our new listeners, our new viewers. Adam Krupp was the head of DCS, Department of Child Services. And that oversees, as it sounds, the well-being of children in the state of Indiana. It's a very important agency. I think their budget is something like $1.4 billion. It's a huge deal. And Krupp, who is a political, connected, total insider guy, right? He was at the Department of Revenue. He worked for Pence, did all sorts of things before he ended up at DCS. He just disappeared for 3 months at the first of the year. From the middle of January through the middle of April, he just disappeared. And the only thing he would say was, well, I was in the hospital. But it was never like, I have this issue, I have this disease, I have this thing that's been diagnosed. Nothing. No, I'll be back in a week. Here's what I'm going through. Here's, when I anticipate a return. Nothing. He just made the one post and then basically disappeared. And then all of a sudden in the middle of April, so a couple weeks ago, I guess now, there's a big announcement. Well, Krupp's out as head of DCS, and now Krupp's a special advisor to the governor. What does that mean? Well, we're not going to tell you. Well, what's he do? Well, we're not going to tell you. Well, is there a job description? Nope. Okay, is he just volunteering his time? Oh, no. He's getting paid $210,000 a year plus benefits. And people, including, the Republicans, won't say anything. I have not seen a single Republican lawmaker in the House or the Senate express anything. Frustration, demanding to know information, outrage, nothing. But the Democrats have spoken up and said, $210,000 plus benefits, you put it all together, it's probably $250,000 plus per year. We're paying a guy. We want to know what he does. So Kara Kinney has sort of taken the lead on this, investigative reporter over at WRTV 6. And she asked Braun yesterday, I think this was during his big AI announcement. And she asked him, I'll read the transcript here of what Braun had to say. And this is posted up at WRTV 6, by the way. Kara Kinney, quote, Governor, you just talked about efficiency and accountability. Why give Adam Krupp a position, and how do you hold him accountable if there's no job description? Governor Braun, quote, it's easy to hold you accountable. He left because he had a personal issue. Stop. Okay, first of all, we don't know why Krupp left. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you're some customer service rep for the state government, you can have all the personal issues you want. I don't need to know the details. If you're an agency head of a place where $1.4 billion of our tax money is spent, if you're in charge of the well-being of children in our state, I get to know why you're gone 3 months. I get to know that. If you don't want me to know that, and look, this again is not about Adam Krupp's health. I want him to be a healthy person. I hope he's had a speedy recovery. I hope whatever he was going through has been resolved. Not about that. But I get to know. If you're going to lord over people, if you're going to collect, you're going to be in charge of $1.4 billion of our money, you don't get to disappear for 3 months. There's a higher standard for you than than the janitor. We get to know what the issue was. And we get to know why you've improved, why you're better, that you can make $210,000. This dismissive BS from the governor, he's fine now. We don't even know what happened. I mean, we kind of do, right? Braun has essentially alluded to that the guy had some sort of mental meltdown. Now, again, they won't be candid and tell you what's going on, but if you put the pieces together based on the interview Braun did on Hammer and Nigel, the things he said in the press gaggles, releases, whatever, the guy had some sort of meltdown. Sorry he went through that. Maybe leading an agency isn't for you. And you know what? If you're the coach of an NFL team, okay? So you're leading the team in the NFL. And you're just hey, the team's failing. You're not winning. I couldn't take it. I'm out. Do they just not tell anyone what happened? And then you just come back and they're like, he's going to make the same amount of money. He just gets to report to the president now. No, you're out. Sorry, it didn't work out. Coaching the NFL, not for you. It's a high pressure position. It's not for everyone. Unfortunately, the job that Krupp had, lots of jobs involving politics and government, they're high-pressure positions. They're high stress, a lot of scrutiny. And when you're going to take on that role, you give up certain things that other people are afforded. What is it? With great power comes great responsibility, great accountability. We're not getting any of that. Braun goes on to say, I'll do like I've done over the years. You make good decisions, people stick with you. You'll know what to pay them. You'll know when it makes sense to do so. Oh, so Braun's a king now, I guess. Well, I just decided he's worth it. Well, what's he do? Not going to tell you. What's the job? Not going to tell you. What are the responsibilities? Not going to tell you. I know, though. No offense, Braun, your governance so far is crap. And by the way, it's not like you have some ace track record with personnel decisions. See Jennifer Ruth Green. Not like it's not like it's been the impeccable Mr. Braun. You have a track record of pointing political hacks who are rotten. And in the case of Jennifer Ruth Green, ended up under Inspector General investigation, quit, and paid a massive fine to the Ethics Commission. Not a great track record, Braun. We don't give you the benefit of the doubt around here. He also says, quote, if you've got somebody that did a good job and it has an issue personally with it, I'm going to be one who gives you a second chance. There's a reservoir of experience there. Jennifer has done a great job in his absence, talking about the woman that ended up leading DCS. Well, then, Mr. Governor, the question becomes, if he's done a great job, why isn't he still leading DCS? Why isn't he still leading DCS? If he did a great job and he's healthy enough to return to work, and by the way, if he's healthy enough to return to work, why aren't we saying what happened to him? Like, if you're saying, and this would be a horrible thing, hey, I had this battle with cancer, which I don't think that gets solved in 3 months, but maybe it did. And that, if it did, wonderful. But you would tell people that, hey, I had this issue. I'm better. I'm back. Or, I had a broken leg, or I had dental surgery that went awry, like whatever, right? You would tell people what it is. I'm better now. I'm back. They're not telling you what it is, which means they don't want you to know what it is. You have the right as people who are paying this guy's salary, one, to have led an agency. And by the way, they haven't answered yet whether he got paid the whole time he was gone. Were we paying this guy for 3 months not to work? They won't tell you if he got paid. They won't tell you what was wrong with him. They won't tell you how they're guaranteeing he's better, and they won't tell you what he does now. Can you think of any corporation, like a business that has to earn money, where you would allow that to happen? You would just allow an employee to disappear? They don't work. You pay them. They come back. You give them a new job paying the same amount, and then none of the coworkers know or the shareholders know what this person does. There's no job description. That doesn't happen anywhere but the government. Like, when I was let go at IBC, from the beginning, I started doing videos before I'd even been let go. When I was sitting at home and no one was talking to me. That's why I started doing the videos in my bedroom. I wanted you guys to know, like, hey, I ain't dead. I'm not ill. I don't want, because many of you were getting worried, like, is Rob sick? There's something wrong? It's part of why I was so pissed off about the whole thing. Not that I got let go, but in the manner I got let go. People get hired and fired in our business all the time. But the fact that they made you guys worried about Rob has disappeared. Where's he at? Well, they won't say. Rob who? Rob. And I was like, this is BS. I'm not going to tolerate this. So I didn't want people thinking, did he rob a bank? Is he on the run from the law? Is he going to show up in a post office somewhere? And it was ridiculous. The point, what I'm trying to say, though, is I went out of my way to say, hey, I'm here. I'm fine. There's nothing going on here, because I felt you guys deserved to know. I think that made some people mad that I let you know that I was okay. I think, remember when Casey was like, my friend. Lady, I have a freaking name. It's Rob Kendall. I produced a number one rated radio show. That was the one that really made me mad. The My Friend stuff, the tearful My Friend stuff. By the way, I haven't heard from her since February 3, so must have not been that good of a friend. Point is, though, I went out of my way to tell you guys where I was. I'm here in my bedroom. I have no idea what's going on. And I told you who to contact, and thousands of you did. Like, if you want answered, and they didn't give you guys answers either. That is beside the point. The point is, though, that's what you do when you're in a public position where people expect you to be somewhere. And I wasn't running anything. I was just a guy that went and talked on the radio. I wasn't in charge of anybody's money. This guy was in charge of $1.4 billion of taxpayer money. And he disappeared. And then he comes back and they give him a position and they won't tell you what it is. This is where I come back to our government hates you and they have zero respect for you. Let's just say the quiet part out loud. Adam Krupp is where he is because he's super politically connected. He's getting a cush job with a massive salary, and he's not really doing anything for the money of note. Let's just say it. Mike Braun and these and by the way, it's disgusting that no Republican will speak up on this. We're told there's no money for roads without millions of dollars of new tax increases on I-80. We were told last year there was no money in the budget to fund vital services without raising your taxes by $1 billion. We were told that just government can't function. You were always told government can't function without more money. And yet this guy who abandoned the taxpayers, who apparently was so unstable that he had to, I mean, at least based on the description Braun is giving. Now, Braun won't tell you exactly when on, but that's the pieces most of us are putting together. They had to leave the office. They just put him back in some cush position. Where's your cush position? Where's my cush position? We're told to shut up and pay. You don't want to know why there's no money to fund the basics? Because we're giving $210,000 plus benefits to Adam Krupp for a job that we don't know what he does. Diego Morales is wasting $300,000 on unused vehicle history reports. These are just the things we're able to identify because the acts are so egregious. Think about the daily stuff, the day-to-day things that you have no idea about. The one thing I will say, and kudos to Kara Kinney, she has been digging on this. And it's my understanding other people are starting to dig on this. And so hopefully the truth will come out since Krupp and the governor won't give it to you. Hey, guys, it's Wednesday. That means Double D's Barbecue in Clayton. It's open. I know a whole bunch of you guys went out there. Last week to check it out, and you guys were amazed. Got a text from Tina, one of the owners. She was like, oh, my gosh, I had so many of your listeners in. It was outstanding. We're so happy. So, guys, check it out. Double D's Barbecue in Clayton. It's located basically right at 40 and 39. A little out of the way, but easy to get to. It's open Wednesday through Saturday. Memphis-style, legitimate barbecue. No pellet smokers, no roasters, just authentic wood-smoked Memphis-style barbecue. If you're looking for something different, you're tired of like eating at the same places all the time, check it out. Double D's also does catering. So if you run an office, something different for the people, you're tired of just having the same stuff all the time. They can customize your menus to fit whatever the event is. They got a food truck, so if you got an outdoor event, Double D's might be a great thing for you guys. All their food cooked fresh daily. They make all their own sauces. It's all made from scratch. Get a full menu, the ribs, the brisket, everything at ddbbq317.com, ddbbq317.com. So our old pal Jacob Stewart, editor at IndyStar, deputy editor opinion editor over there at IndyStar, had an interesting column this morning. By the way, speaking of the IndyStar, maybe tomorrow or Friday, I've got a new column coming out. I know they were doing the final edits on it. And it is about the feud now between former state police superintendent Doug Carter and Mike Braun around the Tom Kleinhelter saga. And I'm going to go back through the history of all the stuff with Kleinhelter. Going to go back at how consistent Carter's statements have been over the past year on this, using our show, both the old radio show and when Carter was with us a couple weeks ago. Going to go through how ridiculous the lack of response from Braun has been, the lack of accountability from Braun has been, demanding answers on what went down with Klein Helter, and just how much the whole thing stinks. So that may come out tomorrow, maybe Friday. Supposed to be out this week. New column over at the Indy Star. So Jacob Stewart has a piece out today, which you guys can read, indystar.com, about how horrifically negative and probably most important, misleading the ads are in these Senate races. And we're talking about these state Senate primaries. And by the way, I mentioned Adam Wren was going to be with us from Politico. He has a new piece out where he actually followed a couple of these candidates, both an incumbent and a challenger, around for several hours, part of their campaign, and visited doors or events, et cetera. We'll talk about that when he comes a little bit, in addition to him being at that White House Correspondents' Dinner the other night. And what Stewart is basically saying in this article is that the ridiculously negative and misleading ads prevent good people from running, because good people take a look at it and go, not for me. And look, I think there's a difference between dirty campaigning and completely excoriating someone's record. Like, I think your record, if you're going to run for, look, I've said this for a long time, politics is sport, right? And if you're going to run for public office, your personal record as it relates to your finances, how you've handled your own money, how you've handled a business, and your voting record as a candidate, I think those are fair game. Like, I think it's no holds barred. It all applies, right? If you want to manage my money, I get a right to know how you've managed your own money. I get a right to judge how you've managed your own money. And I get to right to say whatever I want about your voting record. I'm not for being nice in elections. I'm not, right? But I also think that who people are as humans, their personal life, what they do personally, like, I'm very much off guard. Like family member, unless the family member is doing something nefarious, unless your kid is doing something like Hunter Biden is fair game, okay? Right? Like, no, Hillary Clinton, when Bill Clinton was president, fair game. They're political people. But so I'm not coming at this as someone who's like a wimp about politics. I think it's, all bets are off, right? If you've mismanaged your own money, if you've mismanaged a business, look, I ran a business during the financial collapse. I bought a radio station. You want to talk about timing? Bought a radio station right before the whole economy collapsed in 2008. You know what we did every day? We paid our bills. We suffered for a couple of years to the point where we were like living in the radio station because we felt an obligation to pay our vendors. And I get that there are sometimes things that happen beyond your control, but for the most part, if you really want to pay somebody, unless you just completely like lost a job, etc., you can figure out a way to do it a lot of the time. I've been through it. I know, right? But if you didn't, then I get a right to know about that. I'm sorry. Part of running for public office, if you're going to manage my money, is I get to know about your bankruptcies. I get to know about your legal proceedings. I get to know those things. It doesn't make you a bad person. But all of that being said, the ads have gotten pretty ridiculous and over the top. And what it is doing in these primaries, and we're going to talk with Nikki Kelly's going to be with us tomorrow, and we're going to talk about sort of the lack of overall enthusiasm. Like, there is enthusiasm on Twitter for these elections. The Turning Point USA people, whatever, they're fired up about it. The average person, not so much. Like, Abdul has run some numbers on early voting, and I think the leading county is my home county of Hendricks County. I don't know what the number is of population in Hendricks County now. It's got to be 150 to 175,000 people. It's like 4,000 people have voted. And we're less than a week from the election now. That's the number one county. There is no enthusiasm. I was talking with my dad about this yesterday, about the lack of enthusiasm, and I said the problem is these people are boring. If you're running for office, I'm sorry, you're boring. There's nobody running right now that I look at and go, that person is super interesting. You know who the most interesting person running is Piper. John Piper, the guy running for Congress, he runs ads here, like, full disclosure. But I'm not saying that he's great. I'm just saying it's interesting, right? Like, we're supposed to talk to Piper on Friday, and I have no idea what the guy's going to say. Like, I'm totally intrigued about what he's going to say. I've heard the ads. I have no idea about any of it. I'm going to ask him about some of it and just see what he has to say. I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's spot on. I'm simply saying, he's interesting. Craig Haggard, boring. Jim Baird, even more boring. We'll talk about Baird and Haggard here in a little bit. But in any of these races, right, like Spencer Deary against Paula Copenhaver in Lafayette, that is two people that are about as exciting as dried paint running against each other. And I don't care that Paula Copenhaver went to the White House or that she's not going to talk about leaving Todd Rokita's office and why she did that. By the way, if someone won't tell you why they left a government office, hey, Paula, why don't you tell people why you left Rokita's office? We're going to talk about honesty and integrity because Copenhaver's mad right now that Deary's people are running an ad about a legal entanglement that she had related to a business she owned years ago with their ex-husband. You going to stand on a moral high horse and bitch about people not telling the truth or not coming clean or not telling the whole story? Why don't you tell everybody why you left Rokita's office? Because you sure are touting that Rokita endorsement. So why don't you tell everybody? Why don't you tell everybody how you ended up working for Micah? Deary's way too nice. I would have run ads all about that. But the point is, in almost all of these races, the candidates are boring. Woefully boring. And putting a Trump endorsement behind you, or Turning Point USA, or Scott Pressler, or on the establishment side, on the Rod Bray side, millions of dollars of Rod Bray's money, it doesn't make you interesting. And so people aren't engaged. They don't care. You have to make people care. When you run, like, just free advice here, you have to make people care about you one of two ways, probably a mixture of both. First of all, that the current guy or girl in office is doing such a bad job, you got to fire them. And you got to lay out how personally that affects people. And redistricting does not personally affect people. That's why it's a bad argument. Second, you've got to make people invest in you. I will deliver for you. I will get in there and fight for you. People, it's a sales pitch. And none of these people on either side make a very good sales pitch for themselves. The personal sales pitch. Personal sales pitch. But Stewart is right. Good people don't run for public office because they don't want to deal with this crap. They don't want misleading ads. They don't want people digging into their past because, let's face it, a lot of people make mistakes in their life. I think we all have. Like, I think if you took the worst moment of any person's life and put it on display, we'd be like, "Whoo, that wasn't good. That wasn't great." All of us. Every single person. Me, you, Jason, any of us. And good people are like, yeah, I don't mind scrutiny, but I also don't want my life torn apart. I tell this story, and I know we're running a little long here, and then we'll get to a break. When I was an elected official, there was a guy who was a very prominent business owner, very respected person, not political at all. And there was a board that I thought he would be perfect for because he was a business owner. And he knew how to separate politics from the decisions. And it was a redevelopment commission. It was a redevelopment commission. Back when the Brownsburg town government used to give a crap about the redevelopment commission, and the people on the redevelopment commission used to know what the hell was going on. And I went to this guy and I basically pleaded with him. I was like, please throw your name in to do this. And he's like, I don't want to do it. He's like, I don't want the stress that I was like, dude, it's a non-political board. Like, you spend money to build roads. It'll be fine. And I pleaded and pleaded and pleaded with him, and finally he goes, okay, I'll do it. And as soon as he was on this board, the school system started banging on the redevelopment commission to give him money. And I told the school, I was like, you're not getting this money. It's going to build this road. You're not getting it. And you know what they did? They started telling people, hey, this guy's keeping the school from getting us money. And this guy was a prominent merchant in town. Like, he had all sorts of people that came to his business. And he calls me and he goes, hey, I thought you said no political drama. I said, there shouldn't be. He goes, well, people are coming in here saying they're not going to come here anymore if I don't give the school what they want. I said, you going to give the school what they want? He said, no, I'm going to lose the business and I'm not happy about it. And he did it for a year, which was the term. And then he said, don't ask me to ever do anything again. And it sucks because he was really good. He did the right stuff. He did the right things. Most people would have caved. This guy actually did the right thing. But the point is, that was a prominent, respected, non-political person who got his life ruined because he did the right stuff. There weren't even people like running ads against. He wasn't running for public office. But Stewart is exactly right. Good people don't go into the thing because they don't want to deal with the crap. And then what we get is a bunch of sleaze buckets who don't care about their reputation because their reputation's crap. If they can be in a position of power, people saying bad things about them, it doesn't mean a thing because they have nothing to lose other than the position itself. And so we get rotten people who make the choices who don't care about their reputation because their reputation is garbage because they're garbage. And until we get better people running and until we get better people willing to engage, we're going to keep running into the same problem. Hey guys, is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salts, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that end up in expensive repair. This is where Seal Now comes in, the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. And man, do these guys do incredible work that goes far beyond just the basics. They do all sorts of outdoor exterior concrete or wood, including pergolas, decks, fences, anything outdoor. Pretty much they can take a stab at it. They clean it, protect it, all points in between, or maintain it. Seal Now, they're your guys. So here's what you do. You go to sealnow.com, SEALNOW.com. You can see the work that they do on the different types of projects, the befores, the afters. And then, if you think, hey, this could be for me, you schedule an appointment. They'll give you a free estimate. You know exactly what it's going to cost before you ever commit to anything. If you tell them, you heard about them on the Rob Kendall show, on top of that free estimate, they're going to take 20% off any long-term sealing project. What an incredible deal. 20% off any long-term sealing project for simply saying, heard your ad on the Rob Kendall show. Get all the details. Sealnow.com. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, there's so much juicy Indiana news and politics and government to get to. Greg Ballard, he's found some testicular fortitude. He is ripping on the electoral process in the state of Indiana. He's going after the parties, and you know we hate the parties. We'll talk about that coming up next. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
I'm State Senator Greg Good, representing the Wabash Valley by listening and never compromising our shared values. That's why I'm the only Senate candidate endorsed by Indiana Right to Life, the NRA, Indiana Realtors, professional firefighters, and the Indiana Farm Bureau. These endorsements are from the good people from Indiana and for Indiana, a sign of trust that I have built and results that you can count on. I'm Senator Greg Good, and I respectfully ask for your vote in the Indiana Republican primary.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Hi, I'm John Piper. I'm running for Congress in Indiana. I'm the only candidate in the United States of America exposing the crisis we have in mother's breast milk. Purdue University is a major player in that. Purdue is selling our veterinarians to out-of-state corporations for big money. Bobby Kennedy needs to know about it effective immediately. We are 55,000 veterinarians short across the United States. My two major opponents, Craig Haggard and Jim Barrett, are both protecting the Iranian terror cell in Plainfield, Indiana. I'm John Piper. I approve this message. Paid for Friends for Piper for Congress.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance, so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
I'm Doug Cobb for Clay County Commissioner. I'm running to bring transparency back to our local government. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what's going on. We need new and fresh ideas for today's challenges. We need a vision for future generations. As a small business owner, I want to explore and promote opportunities to make us all successful. Let's create a brighter future for Clay County together. I'm Doug Cobb, running for Clay County Commissioner, and I approve this message. Paid for by Linda Cheatham.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. If you haven't done so yet, don't make me stop the show. Hit that little thumbs up button. 100 people so far. There's way more than 100 people watching me right now. You people do your part. Hit that thumbs up button, like the program, and share that feed. Get our word out there. Let the people know where we're at and what we're doing. Before we get to this press release that Greg Ballard put out yesterday, let me tell you about our friends over at Bramwell Mackay. If you got a leaky chimney or water in your basement, cracks around the exterior of your home, Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants is your authority for all sorts of stuff. Chimney repair, tuck pointing, foundation repair, crawl space to basement conversions, basement waterproofing, and more. Bramwell Mackay don't just offer quick patches. Their team of 40-year master masons and industry experts address the root cause and provide solutions that last lifetimes. Lifetime, maybe times, maybe multiple people can live in their whole lifetime. That's the sort of work Bramwell Mackay does. BRAMWELLMCKAY.com. Beauty built to endure. And by the way, guys, you hear these fabulous sponsors we have on our show. They get results. You guys have heard all about it. If you own a business or you run a business or you have access to the people who run the business, we'd love to hear from those people. We'd love to see if the Rob Kendall Show can be put to work for you to grow your business. Sales at robkendallshow.com. Sales at robkendallshow.com. Let me know about what you guys do. I'll get back with you. We'll figure out, we can put a plan together to grow your business. That's our goal here on the Rob Kendall Show. All right. So Ballard. Let's talk about this press release Greg Ballard put out the other day, because I think it's very interesting. And basically what he is saying, now look, we're honest brokers here because we dislike all the people equally, so we can tell you what's going on. Greg Ballard's saying this now because he wants to be an independent candidate for Secretary of State. Greg Ballard was the mayor of Indianapolis for 8 years, and I never once remember Greg Ballard bitching about the primary process. So while we're going to give Ballard credit for what he's saying, the real time would have been if you believed in that to say it when you had some juice in the Republican Party as the mayor of Indianapolis. So let's just put that out there right away. Ballard's saying this because it will be politically expedient and help him in the fall by saying this. He didn't believe this or say this, or if he believed it, he didn't say it when he was the mayor of Indianapolis. But basically what Ballard is saying is the thing that we have been saying for years, which is if the Republicans and Democrats are so inept that they can't run their private business, because we keep it, well, they're private political parties. If the Republicans and Democrats are so inept that they can't run their private business without taxpayer money, then they shouldn't be able to prohibit people from running for public office. And this is what the Republicans and Democrats do. They take millions of dollars of our money because I guess they're too inept, incompetent to run their elections without taking our money. Then they get off on laughing about how they keep 80% of the population from being able to run in their private clubs. That's how this works. Republicans and Democrats have a monopoly essentially on the elections, ballot access, other than the libertarians. We'll get to them in a second. But in terms of primary ballot access, the Republicans and Democrats have a monopoly. They take your money, and then they do everything in their power, unless they like you, to keep you from running for public office. That's why they have these ridiculously high entry barriers to hop over in order to run as a Republican or Democrat. And what Ballard is saying is, okay, if you're going to have those high barriers to access and you are a private club, then don't take everyone's money. Or if you're going to take everyone's money, let people run for the offices and for the parties they're forced to fund. So here's what Ballard wrote. And by the way, Indiana Capital Chronicle has an article on this. Quote, the Republican and Democrat parties need to make it easier for everyday Hoosiers to run, or they must pay the cost for their closed primary elections. The primary system in Indiana is broken and needs to be accessible to all Hoosiers anxious to serve their state. Agreed? Where was this 10 years ago, Greg Ballard? I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. Now, maybe he's had some sort of Ebenezer Scrooge type of epiphany that just conveniently coincides with him trying to get on the ballot as an independent. Look, the libertarians do this every year. The libertarians have ballot access. They nominate their candidates of their own cost, of their own expense at their own conventions. Costs you nothing. If the libertarians can figure out how to do it with $9 to their name, why is it that the Republicans and Democrats can't do it with all the robust donor class at their disposal? The Capitol Chronicle, when it was dug into this a little bit more in the article and had a little bit more in Ballard's press release, and Ballard's campaign, to their credit, cited a Secretary of State's office report finding that the Indiana primaries, so just the primaries, not the general election, but the primaries, cost taxpayers $13.3 million. $13.3 million of your money, and 80% of the people can't participate. Look, this is almost egregious as the state taking $200 million of your money and giving it to people to have free daycare, a lot of them who don't work. And you don't get to participate. Hey, we're going to pay all this money for daycare. Great. Can I sign up? No, you make too much money. Seems very selective and rather vindictive. Sort of like the two political parties, the Democrats and Republicans, saying, well, you can't run for public office, but you have to pay for it. $13.3 million. No money for roads, but we had $13.3 million in the most recent election laying around for the Republicans and Democrats to force you to pay for their private business. By the way, Republicans and Democrats, they can do this. They do this every 2 years when they nominate the Secretary of State, the Treasurer, the Comptroller, the Attorney General, and the Lieutenant Governor at their conventions. They pick their nominees at conventions. So they can do it. They just don't want to do it. Why? Because they use the primaries as free advertising. They get tens of millions of dollars in earned media, and you pay for it by funding the primaries. So I thought Ballard was spot on with this. I thought he was 100% right. Now, I think he's doing it out of political expedience rather than he actually... Well, he's probably actually worried about it now because he has to run as an independent and pay all his own money to get those signatures. But he's spot on about how pathetic the Republicans and Democrats are, that they force you to pay for their elections, and then they gleefully, they celebrate, they do happy dances, they run around in the street, they post on social media about being able to keep you off the ballot. Hey guys, if you're thinking about buying or selling your home, call our friend Lauren Wilson with At Properties. Don't leave your biggest investment to chance. Work with a local realtor who is a Hoosier lifer and military veteran, Lauren Wilson, Hoosier through and through, dedicated to a higher standard of service. And guys, even if you're not ready to pull the trigger right now on buying or selling that new home, selling that old home, get a strategy in place. Even if you're 2, 3, 4 years off. That way, when it's time to go, you got the person. You got the strategy. It's going to be just like flipping a switch. Call Lauren Wilson with At Properties. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Adam Wren from Politico will be with us. He was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when all hell broke loose. We'll talk about what it was like inside the room. Plus, he has a fascinating article out in Politico now. He followed both a challenger and an incumbent around for part of a day in the state Senate primaries. And what he observed was very interesting. It's all coming up next. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
I'm State Senator Greg Good, and I'm here on the Wilson family farm to tell you the truth. Am I allowing China to buy our farmland? No. I'm doing the opposite. I want to kick China's butt, and my record clearly proves it. Some say I'm against Trump. I'm against D.C. insiders trying to scheme away our state and local freedoms. I stand for what is right, regardless of who is in charge in D.C. I stand with you. Do you want a proven leader, a principal, or a political puppet? I ask for your vote on May 5th.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, a realtor with At Properties. Born and raised right here in Central Indiana and a Hoosier through and through. Selling your home is a massive undertaking, and I completely understand what that is. That's why when you work with me, we put a great plan together to make sure that when your home comes to the market, it is in the best light possible. Again, I'm Lauren Wilson, 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Let's put a plan together and get your home sold.
I'm Doug Cobb for Clay County Commissioner. I'm running to bring transparency back to our local government. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what's going on. We need new and fresh ideas for today's challenges. We need a vision for future generations. As a small business owner, I want to explore and promote opportunities to make us all successful. Let's create a brighter future for Clay County together. I'm Doug Cobb, running for Clay County Commissioner, and I approve this message. Paid for by Linda Cheatham.
Hi, I'm John Piper. I'm running for Congress in Indiana. I'm the only candidate in the United States of America exposing the crisis we have in mother's breast milk. Purdue University is a major player in that. Purdue is selling our veterinarians to out-of-state corporations for big money. Bobby Kennedy needs to know about it effective immediately. We are 55,000 veterinarians short across the United States. My two major opponents, Craig Haggard and Jim Barrett, are both protecting the Iranian terror cell in Plainfield, Indiana. I'm John Piper. I approve this message. Paid for Friends for Piper for Congress.
He was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he's got two amazing articles. Jam-packed segment here. It's Rob Kendall Show, joined by Adam Wren, Politico in Portonville. Adam, hello.
Good to be with you, Rob.
Okay, so you were at the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday.
Yes.
Take us through what occurred from your perspective.
Yeah, so I had just finished eating my salad, and
you didn't even make it to the main course.
I didn't. Nobody did. Back of the room, and eating, and sort of notice some shuffling and hear what I thought were plates falling at the time at the back of the room. Of course, those turned out later to be shots. They were almost a floor above where we were. And then noticed there, like on the stage, people were being taken off the stage. And then, people are starting to get under the tables. I got under the table briefly, but then kind of poked my head back up out of curiosity.
The reporter in you.
Reporters, were holding their phones kind of up. I was never fully under the table. And there are like 2,000 people in this room. And I knew things were really serious when I saw, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, get shuffled out of the back of the room. Everybody on the stage was getting shuffled, off the side of the stages. The vice president, the president, the reporters up there. And then it was just a long period of waiting to see what was happening, of making phone calls. Reception is not great in the belly of the Washington Hilton. And so, because the shooting took place outside of the room, people outside of the room in some ways knew more than what we did, and because of the reporting for a while, we thought that there was someone dead. But they kept sort of updating us in the room and telling us that they were going to try to resume the dinner. And it was like, really, we're gonna resume the dinner after
well,
that?
Trump wanted to.
Yeah. And so, at some point, they made an announcement that it was over. I went to the bathroom before that at one point. They surprisingly let us out. There was a crime scene happening, but when I went to the bathroom, the Bee Gees song "Staying Alive" was on, and so that was quite the metaphor.
Okay, so walk us through the security, like, to get into this thing.
Yeah. So Politico CBS, there are a bunch of pre-events that happen at the hotel beforehand. Various outlets have rooms booked and everything like that, and so I had gone to a Politico CBS event, and then to get into the actual dinner, I sort of just flashed a ticket on my phone and walk through one magnometer in the belly of the room. Didn't have to.
Wait. So you're in the, obviously, I'm not saying you're right next to stage, but you're in a room with the president.
Yeah. And
you're going through just like basically getting into the Indiana State House.
Yeah. The dinner didn't start until 7:30, and the pre-reception that I was going to started around 5:45, 6 o'clock. I got to the hotel very early because some roads were blocked off. But I thought, I've gone to presidential rallies before and have waited for hours in line and had gone through a significant security process, and this was not that. And I got to the hotel very early because I thought it's going to take forever to get in. There's going to be a massive line, and there was not that at all.
Did that stand out to you at the time? Like, even before the shooting happened? Like, hey, this is pretty easy?
Yeah, this was pretty easy.
The manifesto.
Yeah, and every year there's a group of protesters who gather outside of the Washington Hilton protesting, a cause du jour, because, the idea is, as a protester, you're going to have a captive audience of 2,000 journalists walking by you.
Oh, yeah, that's smart marketing.
So I had noticed protesters on the way in protesting the war in Iran, and, I had had imagined that that one of them, had gotten inside. That there was a fracas, and at first that they were just trying to disrupt the proceedings. But of course, it was a more serious than that.
They've tried to kill the guy twice. How is that possible? That security could be that lax. Like, have you gotten any word from anyone on how that's even allowed to happen?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of questions to be answered. Chief of Staff Susie Wiles is reportedly gathering, people to discuss that this week. There are two different takes. One is that security worked exactly as it should have, and that the shooter was apprehended well before he even entered the room. And then, I think the other question is the presidential line of succession. I mean,
they're all there.
A worst case scenario that night would have led to President Chuck Grassley.
Oh, geez.
And
he's 9 million years old.
And so, yeah, I mean, it was significant. Like there was a lot of cabinet members there, and so I think continuity of government questions will continue to be asked.
Adam Wren from Politico is our guest. He has two great pieces I want to talk about here in just a second. But to wrap this up, so how does it work? Is it like going to the ball game with the rain delay, where they're like, keep your ticket, you'll be
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, they've said they want to rebook this in 30 days or so. I have not heard much appetite from anyone.
They don't want to go
to do this again. Yeah, I would be surprised if this happened at the same scale, because people plan for this for weeks.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal.
Advance.
Like, you're not showing up, in a I'm a stupid t-shirt.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's
camouflage
a
pants,
black tie affair. Administration guests are invited by each news organization. I was sitting, a table over through Andrew Giuliani.
How do you get invited? Like, can you scalp a ticket? Like, how do you?
The news organizations who are members of the White House Correspondents Association purchase tables, and they invite guests.
You and I are going to go next year. We'll wear the Dumb and Dumber tuxedos.
Okay.
It'll be great.
Okay. Yeah. But I was not the only Hoosier there. Liz Houston, the daughter of Speaker Todd Houston, who works at the White House, was there as well, and Loretta Rush, a number of others.
The Chief Justice of the Indiana Supreme Court.
That's right. Yeah. Marlon Stutzman, the congressman from up north, was there as well. So, a lot of people in that room. It's actually hard to get to your seat. You kind of have to, elbow your way through a massive room to get to your seat.
What was the dinner? Do you know? What were they serving? Like, what?
Yeah, they were serving lobster and steak, surf and turf.
So you got screwed big time.
So
not a rubber chicken link day.
Thankfully, the hotel worked to get those meals to a local food shelter.
Oh, good, excellent.
And so that lobster was not
didn't go to waste.
Didn't go to waste. Yeah.
All right, two articles I want to talk to you about. First of all, you went around and you engaged with some of these people that are running for state senate, including Spencer Deary, who's an incumbent up in Lafayette. And then you wrote about your experience.
Michelle Davis,
Michelle Davis, who's a challenger. So that's my point. You were with challengers and incumbents alike. And the article's available in Politico.
Yep.
Tell us about your experience.
Yeah, so, I put a few hundred miles on the car. I wanted to take the measure of the president's retribution campaign. Everybody has seen the advertising. We're in the millions of dollars. This is unprecedented, and I wanted to see what it looked like on the ground. So I went to one of the Turning Point vote chase rallies with Scott Pressler in Franklin. It was the most well-attended event of the day a few Saturdays ago. Had just about 50 people there. It was a pretty thin crowd.
I'd like to point out, Jason Hammer and I had a paid event in Johnson County, and we drew 250 people. So I'm not saying we're better. I'm just saying.
And, the day before that, earlier that day, they were in West Lafayette. They were in Vigo County. And so not, significant. And it was surprising because they were not talking about redistricting. They were talking about boys and girls sports. I talked to Michelle Davis, asked her what the defining issue of her challenge was against Greg Walker, a very vociferous opponent of the president on this particular issue, and couldn't really define it. Said that the defining issue was about boys and girls sports and conservatism and taxes.
So that was my question to you. Is I think these candidates, these challengers, have really struggled, and there's a ton of issues, and this has been frustrating for me, that they really have struggled to define to the average person, why am I running?
Yeah. And
is that a fair analysis?
Yeah, I think it is a fair analysis. And they will tell you that Hoosiers deserve a more conservative Senate, that the Senate is where conservative ideas go to die. But the idea that Chinese farmland and selling it is at stake doesn't really comport with the facts. But those are the kinds of things. It's hard to get voters excited in a midterm year when President Trump is not the ballot and he's assembled this coalition of unlikely voters. It's hard to get them excited about issues like Chinese farmland or gas taxes. Gas taxes a little less so. But particularly when we have a large supermajority in both houses, and they on a lot of issues vote in lockstep. A number of the issues are bipartisan in the General Assembly, so it's hard to distinguish there on a number of the votes. And that message clear. I went door to door as well with Spencer Deary, and the message is just not breaking through to voters.
Okay, so the Deary thing is fascinating to me. So you write about, and you're a great writer. Everybody should totally read this article in Politico. You go up to a door with Deary, and he gets somebody. I'll let you describe this because I've been reading this. This is great.
Yeah. So Spencer Deary is being outspent.
And he's very nice. He's very quiet. He's very reserved,
soft spoken. He's being outspent by a significant amount of money. I mean, his election last time was decided by 5,500 voters, and he's calculated that essentially the MAGA forces, Turning Point, Club for Growth, Hoosiers for Conservative Leadership, the Jim Banks group, they're spending like $300 a vote, essentially. In this case, if it does turn out to be that narrow of a margin. And so,
and by the way, Deary voted against the property tax bill. Like he hasn't really done much to anger the right, like outside of this redistricting vote.
That's right. And of course, it's amped up because he's a former Mitch Daniels aide when Mitch Daniels was president of Purdue University. And a lot of this primary can be best understood as a proxy battle between Senator Jim Banks and former Governor Mitch Daniels. They almost faced each other in a Senate Republican primary.
That would have been great.
To refill Mike Braun's seat when he became governor. And so, Banks advisors have said, whenever we see Mitch Daniels raising money, we put in more money into this effort.
That's insane.
And so, essentially they're going at it here. And, I went door to door with Spencer, and of course, every person we talked to recognized him, at the door as a state senator, which is not, necessarily common.
Very unusual, right?
And so
because he's just that good looking.
No, it's because they're carpet bombing television stations and mailers, and so his face is everywhere.
Hey, you're that a-hole I see on my TV all the time.
Yeah, and so we go to a number of houses, and we get to the last house. He has actually purchased a $250 knockoff electric scooter on Amazon over the last few weeks because he's calculated that he can hit a third more houses.
Yeah,
and it's more efficient to go door to door by scooter than walking.
And he's doing them himself. He's not like
that's right. No, he wants, and every door he goes to, whoever, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, opens the door and he says, "I'm Spencer Deary. You've heard a lot about me. I want to make sure that you're hearing from me myself."
I like
and
that.
Before he even gives a pitch, he says, do you have any questions for me? And lets them sort of ask questions of him. And his opponent, nobody has seen his opponent.
Copenhagen,
Paul
right?
Copenhagen, yeah.
So yeah, I hate almost all these people equally, but I'm kind of cheering for Deary because Copenhagen's a complete fraudster. And so he's the one incumbent that I'm kind of hoping is able to deliver.
So we get to this last house, and a woman comes out holding an American flag, and
out of the house.
Out of the house, yeah. She walks out of the house holding, and I thought this is not gonna. This is not.
Did you get a scooter too, or did you have to walk?
I walked, and he walked a little bit with me before he went back to his Tesla to get a scooter to finish the doors. But she came out holding an American flag, and I thought, oh no, this could be a weapon.
You could be observing a crime in process.
Yeah, and so she pointed at him and she said, I know you. I know your face. And I thought, oh no, this. And Spencer kind of, he was tensed up a little bit, and he went up, introduced him. She said, "Yeah, I know you." She said, you Republicans, she said, and by the way, I'm a Republican. She said, "You Republicans have to stop supporting President Trump." She said, "He's an idiot." And, I'm against this redistricting. He needs to butt out. And it was pretty shocking. Like, this is a Republican who's, holding an American flag.
Right.
I mean, from the very because of the way that patriotism has become coded in America. Oh, of course, this is a Republican. She was not happy with the president. Hasn't been for a while, and she Spencer Deary, sort of in a soft-spoken way, said, "Look, sometimes I agree with President Trump. Sometimes I don't agree with him on redistricting. I didn't agree with him, but what I want you to know is I don't work for him. I work for you." And she said she would get out and early vote for him, and because he voted against redistricting, and that just seemed to be a metaphor that sort of captured how a lot of voters are feeling about this whole thing.
If you had to guess, I think there's 9 sort of incumbents that are being challenged. If you had to put a number, we're going to ask Nikki Kelly tomorrow this as well. Of the 9, because we'll include Liz Braun in there, even though she voted for redistricting. If you had to pick a number, what would you say it is?
Well, I will let others.
How many are going to win?
I will let others do the guesswork. What I will do is tell you what my reporting says, and that is, Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith has said a good night would be picking off 3 of the 8 Trump-backed, picking off 3 of the Trump anti-endorsed incumbents. Now, mind you, we spent $500,000 in this state in 2024 on Senate races. This year, Ad Impact, the survey company, tells us it's going to be close to $10 million.
That's so crazy.
And so $10 million across, roughly 8 Senate districts. I don't know how you make the case that 3 victories is good. And so he said,
"Well, he'll lie and spin it. Don't worry. He's already concocted the plan."
David McIntosh, the president of the Club for Growth, which has upped its spending to $2 million so far, and ahead of the primary, he says he wants every single one. They want to pick off every single person, and they're hoping for all of them.
That's wild.
And so, if we get to next Tuesday night, and only 1 or 2 challengers are knocked off, I don't know how you spin that as anything but a major defeat for the president and MAGA.
Adam Wren, Politico, our guest, couple minutes left with him. You had a fascinating piece on Bo Bai. We had Bo on the show Monday. Mm-hmm. I feel like he has gotten infinitely better as a candidate since I interviewed him in December. He was pretty green and pretty weak. He seems a little more confident on his footing. You did the big expose. What do you think about the guy? Yeah,
he's certainly improving as a candidate. Right now, this race for him is all about winning over a couple thousand delegates at the convention on June 6th. That Saturday is going to be decisive. He's running against Blythe Potter. So he's got to win that before he wins anything. But he has gotten better as a candidate. The guy's 30 years old. And
yes, he won the genetic lottery, Adam.
That's right.
You and I did not. He did.
That's right. And so, although he is running, we've got a little bet going. He's running the Indy mini marathon this upcoming Saturday.
And you're a runner.
So am I. Yeah. So we'll see.
Are you running against each other?
We'll little side bet possibly. But we did for this story. We went running about 4 miles down in Brown County.
I've never run 4 miles in my entire life.
Okay.
I made a mile in elementary school to get the Presidential Physical Fitness Award.
Yeah.
That's the farthest I've ever run.
Yeah. Well, what I learned is that he is being advised by former Indiana Democratic Party Chairman Mike Schmuhl, who was Pete Buttigieg's campaign manager. He has got some significant backing. It has raised millions of dollars. I mean, he has picked the best possible year that a Democrat could run in a difficult state like Indiana. He is going to have, a pretty narrow path to win here. It's going to be dicey, but I think there is a chance that Greg Ballard, running an independent campaign, could, pick off some of the Republican support that might otherwise go to Diego and weaken him as a candidate.
You're so calm. I have to ask you this question as a reporter. Do you ever get to the point where you're doing a story on these people and you're like, I hate all of you people. You're so fraudulent. Like, I get to say that out loud. You are very nice and never say that out loud. Do you ever just get totally frustrated with this world of just complete shysters and con men that you're forced to live in?
Well, I mean, Indiana politics is interesting. It's sort of like the weather in the sense that if you don't like it, just stick around for a few minutes and it'll change.
Politico, in Portenville. Where can people find you other than those two fine institutions?
Best place to find all my work is just on X at Adam Wren, WREN, like the bird.
Adam Wren, thank you, my friend.
Good to be with you. Thanks
for
watching.
Having me. Rob Kendall Show.
I'm State Senator Greg Good, representing the Wabash Valley by listening and never compromising our shared values. That's why I'm the only Senate candidate endorsed by Indiana Right to Life, the NRA, Indiana Realtors, professional firefighters, and the Indiana Farm Bureau. These endorsements are from the good people from Indiana and for Indiana, a sign of trust that I have built and results that you can count on. I'm Senator Greg Good, and I respectfully ask for your vote in the Indiana Republican primary.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Hi, I'm John Piper. I'm running for Congress in Indiana. I'm the only candidate in the United States of America exposing the crisis we have in mother's breast milk. Purdue University is a major player in that. Purdue is selling our veterinarians to out-of-state corporations for big money. Bobby Kennedy needs to know about it effective immediately. We are 55,000 veterinarians short across the United States. My two major opponents, Craig Haggard and Jim Barrett, are both protecting the Iranian terror cell in Plainfield, Indiana. I'm John Piper. I approve this message. Paid for Friends for Piper for Congress.
Your bathroom fan could be secretly costing you thousands of dollars in damages. Most people don't even know this until the damage is done. With over 18 years of bathroom remodeling experience, here are 3 signs your fan is failing you without spending a dime on inspections. Sign number 1 is if you have foggy mirrors after you shower. This shows that your fan isn't pulling out enough moisture, which creates the perfect environment for mold. If you have a properly functioning bathroom fan that is the right size for your space, you shouldn't see much fogginess on your bathroom mirror at all. Sign number 2 is if you have bubbling, cracking, or peeling paint in your bathroom. This means moisture is soaking into your walls, slowly breaking down drywall, and even causing the wood framing behind it to rot. Sign number 3 is if you have mold buildup on your fan, ceilings, or walls. This is terrible for your health, but also could wreck your bathroom, costing you a fortune. If you're noticing any of these signs, here's what you can do.
Call Vent Savvy today at 317-300-4434. That's 317-300-4434, and mention Rob for a free attic inspection.
I'm Doug Cobb for Clay County Commissioner. I'm running to bring transparency back to our local government. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what's going on. We need new and fresh ideas for today's challenges. We need a vision for future generations. As a small business owner, I want to explore and promote opportunities to make us all successful. Let's create a brighter future for Clay County together. I'm Doug Cobb, running for Clay County Commissioner, and I approve this message. Paid for by Linda Cheesen.
Hey guys, welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so yet, hit the like button. That little thumbs up. We don't ask much around here. We give you a lot. We ask a little. That should be our slogan. We give a lot. We ask a little. Hit the thumbs up button. Let people know you like the show. If you're feeling super generous, share the feed. Facebook, Twitter, wherever that's at. And, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't say, hey, we have a support button. If you like what we do, this great local content you're not going to get anywhere else, robkendallshow.com. Hit the support button. Great way to get your name read on the program. And a thank you email from me. What could be better than that? It's priceless. All right. Before I want to kind of talk about this feud brewing between Todd Rokita and Jim Baird. So before we do that, though, I want to tell you about our friend Gary Tedrow. Gary Tedrow, mortgage guy extraordinaire. If you're buying or think about refinancing, work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow, he's with Verity Mortgage, helps home buyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, and even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, personalized guidance, so you can make a confident decision. Visit loansbygary.homes. loansbygary.homes or call 317-695-5179, 317-695-5179 to learn more to get started today. You got nothing to lose, but potentially dollars on your mortgage payment, 317-695-5179. All right, so Todd Rokita, he is the Attorney General for the state of Indiana, and he is bitching at Jim Baird. And anybody who's bitching about Jim Baird, we're going to talk about that because Jim Baird is awful at his job. He has been a congressman now since 2018, and he has done nothing but spend money, smooch the butt cheeks of leadership, and drive us all further into debt and make the cost of everything cost more. And Jim Baird really pisses me off. By the way, Jim Baird is a congressman from the 4th Congressional District. He is holding the seat. Well, most people believe he's holding the seat so that his son, Bo, can hold it someday. He's a state rep. And he is the king of what we call the franked mail. Franked mail is the mailers that you get in your mailbox that look like campaign ads, but they're paid for by you, the taxpayer, because they don't say vote for me. It's legalized campaigning with taxpayer money. And you can see it in the mail. You can see it on billboards. They look like campaign ads, except they don't say vote for me, and you pay for it as a taxpayer. And Jim Baird sends this stuff out all the time. The debt clock says, and Jason was right, I'll be darned, we are $39 trillion in debt. I'd lost track. We're so far in debt now. And we have people like Jim Baird who waste countless taxpayer dollars with these propaganda campaign pieces. It's shameful. It's shameful, and he is disgusting. He has no regard for you or the financial situation he and his buddies in Congress have put you in, and it's gross. And it is designed to get you to vote for him. So Todd Rokita, the Attorney General, came out the other day and blasted Baird for the franked mail. Now, Rokita is supporting Craig Haggard, one of Baird's opponents. John Piper is the other. And Rokita is supporting Haggard. So don't kid yourself about what's going on here, right? We'll get to that in a second. But Rokita wrote on Facebook, and I think he put this on Twitter as well, taxpayer-funded mail, in all caps, taxpayer-funded mail, was sent by a member of Congress has restrictions. I know as a former member of Congress, House rules say it cannot be sent right before an election. Let's pause on that for a second. So there is a rule, I believe, that there is a window that limits when you can send out franked mail, these campaign propaganda pieces, a certain number of days inside of an election. That's what Rokita is referencing. However, it appears Congressman Jim Baird may have violated the rules with reports of his taxpayer-funded mail hitting mailboxes this week, way beyond the deadline. I think it's 90 days. I think that's the deadline. So obviously we're way inside that. I, like many other elected officials, contact constituents. But in potentially violating the rules, Congressman Baird looks like he is campaigning, not informing the public. You don't say, Todd Rokita. That's what he's doing every time he sends one of these out. Whether it's the postcard, whether it's the brochure, the magazine, any of it. And Todd Rokita knows this. And this happens all the time, and I have yet to hear before this post Todd Rokita bitch about Jim Baird wasting our money via franked mail. Welcome to the party, Todd. Glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. Why isn't there outrage every time this clown does this? You know why? Because Todd Rokita wants Craig Haggard to win. So this is a case where two things can be true at the same time, in which Todd Rokita is right, but Todd Rokita is also a disingenuous a-hole who doesn't really care about the franked mail, or he would be bitching about it all the time when this guy does this. Now, what's funny is, so Rokita puts this out. He's spot on about it. Abdul gets in the comments section on Rokita's post. For those of you who don't know, Rokita and Abdul hate each other. They used to really like each other. Now they hate each other. Like, Rokita has it bad for Abdul. Like, bad for Abdul. Todd, here's the deal, Todd, and I think I've said this before on air. People in your office, they squawk about you all the time. And I wish I could tell some of the stories about the things you've said about Abdul, and I would do it, but I'm not sure I could do it without outing the person who's told me. So just know, when you flap about me and Abdul, we hear about it. And I wish there is one story that I just so wish I could tell about how Rokita describes me and Abdul, but I'm not sure I could do it without outing the person. And I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But just know, Todd, your own staff, a lot of them hate you, and they talk to us all the time. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Abdul gets in the chat, and Abdul responds and goes, and I'm just going to read you his response to Rokita. General, he calls him General. General, with respect, you represented Indiana 04 for 8 years under these exact rules. You know the franking blackout only applies to mass mailings designed as 500 or more pieces. Anything under 500 is exempt, which is why House offices in both parties routinely segment their lists into 499-piece batches in the weeks before a primary. It's been standard practice for 2 decades. That is gold from Abdul. This is how these guys, how little of, oh God, I almost said it. This is how little of a crap these guys give about you, to where they know the rules to the point of, hey, 500's bad, just print 499. Not that the spirit of the rules to prevent you from campaigning on taxpayer money inside of an election. No, they don't give a damn about that. They're going to get the stuff to you. They're going to use your money to manipulate the system however they want, according to Abdul. He's laying it out for you. Like, they know the rule and they know the number. And it's just, according to Abdul, standard operating procedure. Yeah, F those taxpayers. F those rules. Oh, it's 500? Here's 499. And then we'll send another batch out of 499. Can't touch me. Like, that to me it's not the Rokita Abdul feud that's most interesting. It's that Abdul just put it out there like, Todd, you know this is how it works. You know this is how these people operate. And Todd probably does. Abdul goes on to say, so the question isn't whether Baird mail hit boxes this week. It's whether any single drop exceeded the 500 recipients. And if it did, that's a real story, and the documentation should be easy to produce. If it didn't, then Baird is operating under the same rule you operated under from 2011 to 2019 in the same district. Fire. Just fire. And good on Abdul pointing out the hypocrisy, right? Like, Rokita doesn't say anything until the guy he endorses is running against Baird. Then he's upset about the franked mail. We should all be pissed off all the time about the franked mail because these guys, it's legalized vote buying. When we talk about legalized vote buying, we're talking about guys who can manipulate the system. They manipulate the system using your money that we don't have. They print it. It's all printed. And you know what that means? Inflation. It means prices are higher. And it means people like my daughter who don't have a vote are going to have to pay this money back. Daft. Deficits are future taxes. These people are they're all disgusting. But I just thought that back and forth was hilarious. And Abdul just saying as like a member of the media, hey, it's commonplace. Everybody knows. These guys just print to 499. They just print to 499. And then they'll just print another batch of 499. Then they'll go, didn't do anything wrong. Never mind, we totally are just bastardizing the spirit of the law, the intent of the law. They don't give a damn about any of that. Hey guys, can I tell you something most homeowners don't realize? a lot of bathroom exhaust fans were installed wrong from day one. Maybe like, well, big deal, right? No. They're either too small for the room or they're not venting to the outside. And why that's a big deal is when you take a hot shower, the moisture isn't leaving your house. And when it doesn't leave your house, it gets trapped. And when it gets trapped, that can mean water damage, it can mean mold, it can mean all sorts of bad stuff in your attic. It's where Vent Savvy comes in. Go to ventsavvy.com. 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 Tell them you heard about their ad on our show. John, the owner, he's coming to your house free of charge. He's going to take a look. He's going to see what you got going on. And then he's going to say, here's what's up. You can make the choice to do something about it or not. Maybe you don't need to do anything. Either way, Vent Savvy, going to give you all the information. It's free of charge. Just head over to ventsavvy.com. VENTSAVVY.com. Tell me you heard about them on our show. Get a free inspection. Was that cable in front of the camera the whole time?
No, I'm a professional.
We'll talk about that in the YouTube chat, which is coming up in a little bit. By the way, a couple of reminders, guys. In order to comment in the YouTube chat, we have a great community, as you guys know. Hundreds of comments every single show. In order to comment, you have to be a subscriber. If you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. Get notified when we have things going on. By the way, and I'm going to try to get this guy on our show once we go to 3 hours because I'll have a little more flexibility. I saw the craziest guy on YouTube last night, and he's been around forever, and I just found him. Sam Reed is the guy's name. This guy's amazing. He goes and he tries to do different amazing things with food. Like he can eat huge quantities of food. And he had a whole video, it has millions of views, where he figures out what the actual cost of the buffet is at these different places. And he goes and tries to ensure that he can make money off the buffet. So he spans the gauntlet of like the $10.95 buffet, which I'm sure just the food just rots inside you. And he went up to all the way to the most expensive buffet in the United States. And he calculates exactly how much food he has to eat. So he keeps track of it. And then he comes up with his goal is to not only beat the buffet, but by like as much money as he possibly can. And this guy's really skinny. Like, it's amazing the food this guy can eat. Like, just plates and plates and plates of food. This is apropos of nothing. It has nothing to do with Indiana news or politics or government. But I watched like an hour video of this guy. I was enthralled by it last night, going to these buffets and filming himself eating at all of these buffets. I said, once we go to 3 hours, I'm going to reach out to this dude and try to get him on the show because I'm just amazed by this. This guy can do this. Okay, another article that I saw, and this was in the Star yesterday. Michael Hicks, he's a Ball State professor, and I don't care for Hicks on a lot of things, but even, what's the old saying? Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn occasionally. Isn't that the old saying? Hicks wrote an opinion piece that, now Hicks is bizarre because I don't think he thinks we pay enough in property tax. But inside of this opinion piece, he was talking about how much the businesses benefited from the property tax bill and how we, especially a younger generation of people, are paying for the businesses to have freebies, and how that really is a pattern of the state of Indiana, especially over the past 15 or 20 years, that we, the residents, keep getting asked to pay more and businesses keep getting asked to pay less. So he wrote this. Last year's property tax cuts were the biggest business tax cut in state history. For close to 85% of businesses, 85%, SEA 1 marked 100% elimination of business personal property tax. So let me explain that real quick. When businesses pay taxes, they pay taxes on two things. One is the real estate or real property. So the businesses are capped at 3%. Most businesses are way under that, especially if they have abatements from the communities. But 3% is the max they can pay on that if they have a commercial building. And two, they pay on personal property, which is the stuff inside the building. And the giveaway in SEA 1 ended up being a bill that started about protecting you staying in your home, ended up being a massive tax cut on the personal property that the businesses have in the business. So most businesses now pay no taxes on any of that. For the remaining 15%, Hicks writes, large capital intensive industries, because there was a limit on what you could deduct, Opening shop in Indiana is a windfall with full tax abatements, meaning most will never be taxed on their capital investment. So like data centers, they're not hardly paying any taxes, at least for the very, very, very foreseeable future. Hicks then went on to write, and like I said, that's like the great thing about being me, there's many things that are horrible about being me, but the great thing about being me is I can read articles, and because I'm not on any team, like I can look at articles and go, okay, that's spot on. I can look at an article and go, okay, that's right. And then look at it in the same article and go, oh, he's full of crap on that. So there are things in this article Hicks writes, because I don't think he thinks we pay enough in property tax, which is bizarre, or that property taxes are fine, which is bizarre. But there are points of the article that I thought were really well done. He went on to write about how totally unbalanced the tax system is in Indiana. And indirectly, he sort of mentioned an issue that I rail on all the time, which is how property taxes are unrealized capital gains. So he writes, quote, just to make the case plainly, if you're a family who moves to Indiana and buys a home for $225,000, you'll pay taxes on that investment until you die. Bam. Unrealized capital gains. The very thing that the Republicans in this state screamed about Kamala Harris being a socialist and a communist and hating wealth and all the stuff, right? We do it in Indiana every year with property taxes. Because if you're not selling your home, you're not making any money off of it. You pay taxes on it. Hicks then goes on to write, if you invest $2 billion in a data center or wind turbines or logistics facility, you'll likely pay no taxes whatsoever on that investment. When you add in incentives, Hoosier manufacturers face the fourth lowest tax rates in the country, Hicks said. So they're fourth lowest, and they keep getting more tax cuts. Your property taxes, high. Your gas tax, one of the highest in the country. You keep paying more as an individual, and the manufacturers, the industries, the industrial, despite already being the fourth lowest in the country, keep paying less. And basically when you get done reading this article, you realize Indiana residents exist to serve businesses. Indiana residents exist, pay more so that businesses can pay less. Our policies in this state now, our lawmakers, their emphasis, their enthusiasm, their give a damn is all about businesses. It's not you. You keep paying more. Your burden keeps getting greater so that businesses, megacorps, billion-dollar corporations can keep paying less. Hey, guys, is your driveway showing signs of wear, mold, all sorts of other things, salt, inclement weather? They can all do damage to your exterior concrete. That's where our friends at Seal Now come in. SealNow.com, SealNow.com. Visit them today. They are the clean, seal, and stain professionals, and they do more than just concrete. Exterior, wood as well, which means pergolas, decks, fences, all of it. If you got an outdoor structure, there's a good chance they can repair it, they can fix it, they can bring it back to life. Call today, 317-548-2002. 317-548-2002, or visit SealNow.com, SealNow.com. They're going to give you a free estimate. At SealNow.com, you can see all the work they've done from various types of projects. You can see what yours might look like, and you're going to get a free estimate. You tell them what your project is, they'll tell you what it's going to cost up front. So no surprises. Then on top of that, if you say, hey, I heard about you on the Rob Kendall show, they're going to take an incredible 20% off any long-term sealing project. Seal Now, SealNow.com. All right, let's take a break. We've got a lot more to go on the show, including producer Jason going to join us coming up next. Best YouTube comments of the day, sponsored by Black Sheep Plumbing. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
I'm State Senator Greg Good, and I'm here on the Wilson family farm to tell you the truth. Am I allowing China to buy our farmland? No. I'm doing the opposite. I want to kick China's butt, and my record clearly proves it. Some say I'm against Trump. I'm against D.C. insiders trying to scheme away our state and local freedoms. I stand for what is right, regardless of who is in charge in D.C. I stand with you. Do you want a proven leader, a principal, or a political puppet? I ask for your vote on May 5th.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on The Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, a realtor with At Properties. Born and raised right here in Central Indiana and a Hoosier through and through. Selling your home is a massive undertaking, and I completely understand what that is. That's why when you work with me, we put a great plan together to make sure that when your home comes to the market, it is in the best light possible. Again, I'm Lauren Wilson, 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Let's put a plan together and get your home sold.
I'm Doug Cobb for Clay County Commissioner. I'm running to bring transparency back to our local government. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what's going on. We need new and fresh ideas for today's challenges. We need a vision for future generations. As a small business owner, I want to explore and promote opportunities to make us all successful. Let's create a brighter future for Clay County together. I'm Doug Cobb, running for Clay County Commissioner, and I approve this message, paid for by Linda Cheesem.
Hi, I'm John Piper. I'm running for Congress in Indiana. I'm the only candidate in the United States of America exposing the crisis we have in mother's breast milk. Purdue University is a major player in that. Purdue is selling our veterinarians to out-of-state corporations for big money. Bobby Kennedy needs to know about it effective immediately. We are 55,000 veterinarians short across the United States. My two major opponents, Craig Haggard and Jim Barrett, are both protecting the Iranian terror cell in Plainfield, Indiana. I'm John Piper. I approve this message. Paid for Friends for Piper for Congress.
Welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. Here in just a moment, producer Jason will join us with the best YouTube comments of the day, brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. But first, buying or selling a home is one of the biggest endeavors you'll ever embark on. Team up with somebody local. Team up with somebody who gets you. Team up with someone who's going to set a game plan out and be with you every step of the way. Lauren Wilson, Central Indiana lifer, military vet, great all-around human being. She would love the opportunity to get to know you, get to know what you want to do, try to make that happen. And by the way, even if you're not in the home buying or selling phase of existence, get a head start. Get that person in your pocket. It's like having that person on speed dial. Lauren Wilson with At Properties. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Dedicated service. Unlike anybody else. Lauren Wilson. Dedicated to service. Speaking of being dedicated to service, Producer
Yes,
Jason.
I am.
Hello.
How you doing, Rob?
Well, I'm doing great because my kid was able to go back to daycare today.
Oh, okay.
There was some
Ponder
sort of
off on somebody else.
small human stomach bug that was going around the daycare, and so basically yesterday, kid was home. Wife had her while I was here. Then as soon as I got home, so she could go do her work, I took over. You don't realize what your parents give up for you until you've become a parent.
You're a small person. She didn't pass it to you?
I was talking with May at the daycare about this, and like none of the adults have gotten sick, and a whole bunch of the little kids got sick. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I'll get it tomorrow. I don't know.
Don't bring it to me.
Well, I just
You'll be in your bedroom doing the show on your phone.
anyway. Little things like you don't even ponder it when you're 5, 6, 7 years old. My kid is not even that old yet, but when you're old enough to ponder, hey, somebody had to like take off work for me to be here, right? They can't just leave you home.
How old do you have to be to ponder?
I was pondering.
Yeah.
At 5, probably. 6,
okay.
Deep thoughts.
There you go. Listening to that Springsteen crap.
Yeah. The Springsteen crap came later. That was all about filling voids in my life.
Okay, gotcha. Well, let's get to the chat, shall we? Brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. We tell you every day, don't let your next call to the plumber break the bank. Call John Black Sheep Plumbing. Black Sheep Plumbing can do the job right at a fraction of the cost of the big guys. Owner John McKinney is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call Black Sheep Plumbing, 765-315-7558, 765-315-7558. Black Sheep Plumbing.
I got to text John. My old man's got a project that he wants to know if John can do. I think he can do it, so I got to text him. So thank you for reminding me to do that.
All right.
Go ahead.
Let's get to it. Start off at the top. I always like to read the very first chat comment because the people that get in early, you deserve that recognition. The old man, 68.
Yes.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Followed by White Rabbit, Happy Wednesday. Carol, 1776, Happy Wednesday. Monday is coming with our bonus hour of Rob and Jason.
Yes, thank you to John Rust, who Rust is my first rich friend I've ever had. And he gleefully stepped up and said, I will support your new endeavor. Here you go. Thank you for asking me. Yeah, the first time I've ever been thanked by someone for asking me to financially contribute to what I'm doing. Thanks for asking me. Well, sure, no problem.
Spray Jockey, 2 hours till Jason. That would have been 2 hours ago. Steve Green with an E. Good morning, Rob, Jason, and chatters. It's a crappy day down here. No golf, which leaves more time for the big show. Let's go.
Yo, Steve Green, what sort of clubs do you play? I'd be curious to know. What do you play?
I think it's getting sunny out there, but this morning it was raining. C. Mills. This was earlier. 25 watching, only 14 likes. What are you doing that you're not hitting the like button?
That's a fair question, and I love that C.
How many
Mills
likes do we have right now?
We've got the other people.
Can you see how many likes we have right now?
I can't.
I'm on this cell. This is okay. We've got 150 likes. Let's see if we can get that to like 180 by the time I'm done. That's low. Oh wait, okay, yeah, 100. Let's get it to 180. Let's hit that like button.
You got 18 minutes left, guys. But don't wait. Just do it. Just
put me out of my misery.
Yeah,
just
come on. You got 18 minutes to pull this off. We don't ask anything of you
can't
guys.
Get back to the
other
chat
than just
on
hit the like button.
All right, continuing on. Spray Jockey added, the other 14 are Diego's staff.
Hey, so here's what I'm going to do. And Diego is the only Secretary of State candidate I have not interviewed yet. So Diego, once we get in our new studio, because we got a bunch of stuff going on the next week, trying to get everything ready to go, I'm going to send you an email to come on our show. So but I was not going to mess with that while we're getting the studio set up.
All politicians are eligible.
Can you imagine
to
if he said yes?
No matter how bad you are.
The people who would watch, the amount of people who would watch that if he agreed to come sit down and
that'd be hilarious.
It would.
He could turn it around. So I mean, it's just like, man, if you're you should be able to play that card. I mean, he should be able to come in here.
But not if you're lying out your ass.
Well, I mean, okay, he's a politician,
but he's not good at it.
Oh, okay. If you're not good at it, then I guess so. Okay. He could fake it. C. Mills, countdown music is banging as usual. Thank you very much. MLM Warriors, at producer Jason, we'll get everything figured out. I believe talking about the new studio and the 3 hours all in the same day coming up. What could go wrong? New internet.
Here's how the whole thing is working.
It's his idea.
I just tell Jason, make it happen. That's it. It's your deal. It's your thing. I show up. I talk. That's how it works.
Victor Carr, I doubt I will give Rob 3 hours. Stick with Indiana politics. You have a naysayer.
If you're mad that if you're mad we're going to do extra, I'm terribly sorry. I thought we were doing a service to the community by doing extra.
Nicholas Kurtz, at producer Jason. Good morning, legend. Mad Duck.
He called you a legend?
Legend. Every day he calls me a legend. Legend. My legend grows by the day. I just want to say I appreciate all the comments. I mean, it's I make fun. I mean, we have fun with it, but I really didn't know when we started this if I would be accepted. I mean, here's Rob. Everybody knows Rob 6 or 7 years now, and I just kind of pop out of nowhere and take up valuable time off the show, and people seem to be very nice about it.
I'd wanted to engage in the YouTube chat for years, and I'm glad I can finally do that.
This was actually kind of show we were trying to do at IBC, and they wouldn't let me. They would not let me be in the room with Rob. I think we know why. Somebody would have been a little upset about the possibly. Matt,
I love the YouTube chat. I loved the YouTube chat when I was on IBC. Like I thought it was great fun.
Mad Duck. Federal government directly affects the local. We need some of that to help people connect the dots. And that's why Rob will be talking national as well.
Bingo.
Well, when there's a big event going on, like the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting, things like that, you can't just ignore it. You can't spend the whole show on it because, again, people probably have Fox News at home.
Right.
So that's not really necessary. But, like my mom's like, well, I wonder what Rob's take will be on this topic or that topic. So
and
more
guys,
about just your take.
There's usually like 3 or 4 stories that I end up with on this template that are actually local stories that I never get to. It's going to be more local stuff, but it also gives me a little flexibility to get to some of the national stuff. It'll be great.
Spray jockey, does that pillow make you taller in your chair? It's amazing the things the people in the chat notice. The little pillow behind.
Well, I was just
there.
sitting here when I got. So I think people were in here yesterday doing stuff. Mm-hmm. There are other shows that come in here and do stuff. And it was just sitting here, and I was like, well, that kind of looks comfortable. I'll just leave it where it is.
Man, I'm looking at the clock. You gave me all kinds of time today.
Well, I feel like I cut you short the other day.
You did.
Well, the landlord cut you short.
Well, that's all right.
I want to make up for it.
That's okay. Thank you very much. It's very appreciated.
And it's a way to say thank you to the great people who comment in our YouTube chat each day.
That's right. The chat is the people.
It is.
The people.
The voice of the folks.
That's right. James McCartney. Rob, instead of endorsing someone, can you tell us who not to vote for?
Well, like what election?
I don't know. Pick one.
I put my ballot out yesterday. I did the Brownsburg ballot. I live in Brownsburg. And I said, most of the people I'm voting on this list are against the people that are in the office.
Yeah, I don't think he was probably referring to Brownsburg.
Well, I mean,
but
look, here. Okay, so I was thinking about this. I was cutting the grass yesterday. And I was thinking about this while I was cutting the grass. We all complain about the system, and then we keep voting for the same people in the system.
Right.
And I'm sick of hearing people say, well, it's somebody else's guy. My guy's fine. No, your guy's not fine. Like, I at this point, every person I voted for was not an incumbent. I voted for some woman, I don't even know who she is. I just looked up and she was not wanted in a post office, and she appeared not to be a card-carrying member of the Communist Party. And I was like, I hate Jeff Thompson, my state rep, so much. I don't even need to learn anything about this Zelensky woman that's running.
Just to clarify, you mean her picture's not hanging in the post office. You could work at the post office or go to the post office. It doesn't make you a criminal.
Did I say a photo?
Your photo, you never say that. You always just say a person in the post office or something. It should be a photo. Yeah, if your photo's hanging in the post office.
Do they still even do that? Do they post wanted criminals?
I don't go to the post office. It's not 1952 anymore.
How do you mail stuff?
I don't mail anything.
Really?
I rarely mail anything. If I do, I just drop it in a box. I don't go in the post office. Last time I went to the post office, you got to stand there for like 10 minutes, and they're just like one person at the 5 windows, and they're doing what are those, the passports or something like that. So no, they're so antiquated, just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Go to UPS.
Right. Anyway, yes, that is a reference to, there used to be, and this was when I was a kid too, there used to be criminals that used to put the FBI's most wanted people in the post office.
You just keep saying, like, if you're in the post office or something, it's like, Pictures got to be hanging at the post office.
Well,
I could have probably told you that off the air.
Look, here's the thing. If you vote for the incumbent, you're voting for the status quo. Like, I'm sorry, and I would even say this.
Right. That's why I like the primaries, because you just vote against everybody that's
that's
in
my
there.
point, right? It's like if you vote for anybody that's currently in office, you're voting for the status quo. And then you shouldn't be surprised if you keep getting the status quo.
That is correct. All right. John Schmitz. Braun is Mr. Magoo. We can say that, right? John Lee, 1993. No offense, but you're crap, Braun. Again, no offense. McLovins. You mentioned about WIBC not saying where you went or that you were gone, and they were trying to pass off somebody else as you. Well, you didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
I just said
I want to
that.
be very clear. I did not say that.
Yeah,
The reason I mentioned that was Krupp, Adam Krupp, the head of DCS, disappears for 3 months and won't tell people where he's at. When you're in a position of prominence or you're in a position of leadership like this guy was, you have an obligation to tell people where you're at and what's going on. And this guy didn't do that. And I said, look, it's so simple that even though I wasn't in charge of anybody's money or taxpayer resources or policy or anything else, when I was just sitting at home and no one was talking to me, I was like, screw it. I'm getting on Facebook because I don't want people thinking I'm dead or sick or on the run from the law or anything else. So that's what we're referencing.
Andy Engel with the third hour. Will producer Jason get more time?
Do you want more time?
Well, if I'm needed, if the people need me, I'll be there.
We will obviously keep doing what we're doing now. Yes.
McLovins, I was concerned something had happened to your mom or dad, Rob. I was thankful you and your family were okay. And that's a valid point, because it's like, what happened? Did he die? Right. Did he get arrested? Did he end up at the post office? Right.
That is, and I said this on the Facebook videos at the time. Me getting let go, that happens, and we joked about it for years. It happens to everybody. No big deal. Happens, right? I was pissed off at the way it happened, because though they knew the popularity and the relationship that we have, and I was outraged that I was getting messages from people, a lot of them. That's why I started doing the Facebook videos. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Are you sick? I was like, this cannot continue this way. I'm going to get on Facebook and let people know that I have no idea what's going on, but that I'm fine. And that comment right there is why I got pissed off about it. Not because I got let go, but because the good people were thinking, are you hurt? Are you injured? Is there's something wrong with you?
And Pam Kendall replied, that's so sweet. Courtney Hill, late to the partay. P-A-R-T-A-Y. Well, you made it. Better late than never.
That's right.
C. Mills, the wife and I are going to try and hit up Double D's for lunch on Saturday. If anyone else wants to show up, maybe around 1 p.m.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Sounds like a gathering.
Listener
there we
group.
go.
Yeah.
1 o'clock Double D's sounds like the place to be on Saturday.
That's right.
Now, we're not responsible for the insurance, or it's not an official Rob Kendall event or anything like that, but I'm sure they'd appreciate seeing you out there. Andy, oh no. Sorry, Andy, that was a good one, but I'm not gonna, can't read. We've dumped on them enough. Steve Green with an E. I can't wait for the Piper segment.
Okay, so we had reached out to Piper. Like I said earlier, these people are snoozers that are running, and that's part of the problem why people don't want to vote. There's they don't know who they are. They're not entertaining. I think Piper is like one of the few guys that you see or hear him and you go, well, that's different.
The power of advertising.
Well, I mean, and I was like, okay, what is he talking about in these ads? And so we were going to do it last week, and then he ended up having to go to Washington, D.C. So that, all right, we're going to try to run it on Friday. We'll see if it works out. But it's like you see his ad and you're like, what is he even talking about? Like, what is this stuff? I have to know more.
All right. Nicholas Kurtz at Rob Kendall. More producer Jason time is needed. Kevin Branham at Robert. Some people are just stupid. I don't think those correlated together with each other.
They were not going back and forth.
I just thought it was they read well together, but I don't think he was calling me stupid. No, they was talking about somebody else. Debbie Holcomb, can't wait to hear from Piper, my district. All right. Kenneth E. Gold, a new person in the chat. I did a tow a couple of weeks ago, and his radio was on WIBC. I asked him
wait, time out. He was towing a guy.
He was towing a car.
Okay, towing a car.
And the car's radio was on WIBC.
Got it. Yeah.
I asked him what he thought about you, Rob, getting fired from WIBC. And he didn't know what had happened to you, so I filled him in on your new show.
See?
Spreading the word.
Exactly. What a great guy. The tow guy out there spreading the word.
All right. Debbie Holcomb, back to Piper. No one else is talking about breast milk. Now we're talking about him. Power of advertising.
Well, maybe.
See, in the chat, they were talking about, like, what's the breast milk
Well,
stuff,
that's what I want to know.
The ad, and what's, the Iranian mosque or whatever that's probably, they don't have mosque, do they? I don't know what they have. But,
all the stuff in the ad I'm going to ask about. Like, I want to know about all of it.
All right. FIMF, Whiskey with Brian. I'm also curious about the sleeper cell. Maybe he means the snooze fest of this election cycle. The Iranian sleeper cell that Piper says is in Plainfield.
Yeah, the guy is very intriguing to me. He's a vet. He, by all accounts, has like this very fine vet practice, and I'm intrigued. And look, if you're a candidate, be different. Like, you don't have to talk about the stuff he's talking about. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but like, seriously, all of these people sound exactly the same. Like, their attack ads are the same.
Right.
It's just like they're plastic people. They're boring.
And C. Mills ads. Haggerty and Baird have signs out everywhere. This is the only place I've heard anything about Piper. I'll vote for him, but he's not going to win. Well, maybe if enough people like you, C. Mills, vote for him, has a chance.
What is this would be my, and this is part of what we talked about yesterday. Like, what's the difference between Baird and Haggard? Like, what?
I wouldn't know him if I saw him in the store.
He's sending out franked mail. He's in bed with the data centers. Okay, what would you do different? Like, what is the difference between these two guys? Like, I don't hear any of that. None. It's just like two guys who just want to promote themselves. Oh, I want to move up. Oh, I want to stay in power. Like, plastic people.
All right. Courtney Hill. I feel like Rob needs to have like a roundtable episode with his fave peeps, of course. Looking at you, Duck, Green with an E, Mills, Charles Luty, and me, because I'm everyone's fave, according to Courtney Hill. And Andy Engel. Wait, I should be there too.
Yeah.
And then she adds, yes, Andy, you should. Debbie Holcomb, he could do it like Fox does their voter panels. Charles Luty, I'll just sit there and nod and smile. Spray Jockey, can Jason be at the round table? C. Mills, totally down. I'll take the day off for that. Debbie Holcomb, Jason is a must to calm the chaos.
Maybe we could do like one of those things like Frank Luntz does, where he has the focus group.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. We've got our new studio. All we got to do is have John Rust buy us some more microphones. I only bought 2, and they're expensive as hell. Not these. They're expensive. I'm afraid to let Rob even use them.
Yeah, he's been very guarded about these microphones.
I've had them for a month. I just sit on them, stare at them every night. Debbie Holcomb, Jason is a must to calm the chaos. Courtney Hill, obviously Jason is the GOAT producer. Again, the love in this chat is just that's why
you got about 2 minutes left. So if you're going to say anything,
I think we could. We've had a lot of good. We've aired out a lot of the stuff today. I appreciate the time, Rob. C. Mills, I could take up an entire show just talking about the trucking industry and all the illegals that are in it. However bad you think it is, it's 10 times worse.
Oh, wow.
This is definitely a local and national issue. And I got to agree, because, Rob, I was doing a lot of traveling the last couple of years, all over the Midwest, out to South Dakota, Nebraska, everywhere else. And the truck drivers are the worst drivers. They used to be, you could just get around. I mean, and not the fact they just pull in front of you and slow down. They've always historically done that. I'm sure C. Mills doesn't do that. But just, I mean, they're erratic. They'll just veer off the road and then back on like and you look up and I don't know if they're illegal or not, but sure look like it.
Remember when you had the CB?
That's a bad statement, isn't it?
Remember when you had the CB?
The CB radio, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was. That was fun. I would play. Oh, man. There's a Smoky on your tail. You better get out of that third lane. And they'd move over and I'd fly on by. And
Jason used to travel
that.
across the country in a van, and he had a CB radio,
van,
and he would communicate with the truck drivers.
It was a lot of fun. I used to sleep in that van.
Yeah,
too. That was
I remember.
great.
Didn't you have like a portable air conditioner?
Yeah, and everything.
Yeah.
I don't think you could do that these days. You get mugged. All right, Andy Engel. Black Sheep Plumbing's background music sounds like music from Miami Vice. I love it. Rewind the video, have a listen, and tell me I'm wrong. Ha. Okay, and I know we're short on time. Let's make sure. Nice shirt, Rob. That was MLN Warriors. Can Nicholas Kurtz? Can Mama Kendall please verify that Rob did earn the Presidential Fitness Award?
I did.
What grade were you in?
3rd grade. The
right.
chin-ups was the big one. Finally got the chin-ups. That was the real.
All right. And Mama Kendall, I didn't highlight her, but she's in here somewhere and says, yes, he did actually earn that. I am so proud of my boy.
That's right.
That is the chat.
I think Mr. Jones, the PE teacher, might have been a little liberal on whether I got that last chin-up.
You've never run more than 4 miles at a time?
I've never run more than a mile. I did
that's
that for
crazy.
school.
And I was in the military. You run 6 miles a day. I was in cross country in high school, and you'd run 6 miles a day.
When was I ever in the military or cross country? What possible
obviously
reason? I walk. I think I'm a pretty physically fit person. I see some of the other slugs my age and what they're starting to turn
That's
into.
probably why I have no kneecaps.
Yeah, there you go.
The chat brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing, 765-315-7558. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you. And that'll do it for me. So long, everybody.
Still my freaking driver's license weight from 25 years ago. Give me a break. Hey guys, before we go, our friends at Braun Mackay, masonry color mismatch, previous repair catching your eye. If you're not happy with the brick color on your home and ready for a total makeover, Braun Mackay Property Services and Consultants offer specialized masonry staining and recoloring. Want to seamlessly blend repairs or completely transform your home's exterior? They can do it all. Build something new. Braun Mackay's 40-year master masons design and construct custom patios, sidewalks, outdoor summer kitchens, archways, entryways, and more. Braun Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY, BraunMackay.com. Beauty built to endure. All right, going to do it for us today. Great show as always, guys. Please share the feed. Please like it before you go. And we will see you tomorrow right here, 10 until noon, The Rob Kendall Show.